So welcome back guys to We Talk Boxing. So for all those that are new to my channel, welcome. And for those that have subscribed, I'm back. So it has been a minute. I haven't done a video for a while, but again, I thought I'd get a couple of little videos out. There's been a few fights which have happened where I haven't done videos or haven't given my opinion on the fight itself. And we have some good, interesting fights coming up tomorrow, I should say, which is going to be the 27th of June, and in July. So July is stacked of decent fights. So I will be doing quite a few videos regarding some of these up and coming fights. But anyhow, this video I'm going to be talking about Deontay Wilder and his return to the ring on the 27th. He will be taking on a Tyrrell Anthony Herndon. Okay, now Herndon currently has a record of 30 bouts in total with 24 wins and 5 losses on his record. Now, 15 of his 24 wins he's won by KO, and 4 of his 5 losses have been by KO as well. Now, prior to this fight being announced, never heard of this guy. He is an American heavyweight. I'm just going to go on to BoxRec now, but again, is an unknown to me. To some of you may know who he is, but according to BoxRec, he's 6'3" in height, resides and fights out of Texas, and he's got a win rate of 62.5, and he started his career way back in 2015. But BoxRec have him listed as an inactive fighter. Now his last fight prior to this one coming up was in May 2024, where he took on Rudy Silvas and he beat him in 6 rounds. So now this fight against Wilder on Friday night is going to be a 10-rounder. So yeah, I guess it is what it is. But in terms of his losses, Herndon, he lost to Richard Torres Jr. I know who he is, decent, very good prospect. And he also lost as well to an FA Ajagba as well, and a guy called Corey Barlow. Never heard of that guy. But yeah, Ajagba, we know who he is. He absolutely performed out of his skin against Martin Piccoli not long ago. So again, it seems so far, as I'm looking through his record, that every time he's took on a decent name or decent opponent, he's come up short. He also lost as well to a cruiserweight called Brandon Glanton. Now, Brandon Glanton, not long recently, on the undercard, because I was there, of the Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr., he fought Brandon Glanton. He fought, what's his name? Chris Billum Smith. And he put up a decent performance, Glanton. Decent performance. He lost on a unanimous decision, but I actually thought it was going to be probably. I thought it was going to actually cause some proper problems for Chris Billum Smith, because the way that he was talking and building up the fight beforehand, I actually thought that this guy could be the real deal. But it was decent, but it wasn't special, if you know what I mean. But this guy, that Brandon Glanton, beat Deontay Wilder's opponent as well, and he's a cruiserweight. So, yeah, to me, it just seems as if, as he stepped up in terms of opposition, he's always lost to these guys. But let's wait and see what it is. And I think it's just a comeback gimme fight for Deontay Wilder, maybe just to get him in the ring, get him some rounds, definitely get him some confidence. Now, for those that don't know Deontay Wilder, which most of you should, because he's been one of the biggest names in boxing over the last decade, because he's been in some big fights. He's had 49 bouts. Well, this would be his 49th bout on Friday, but a record currently of 43 wins. 42 of his 43 wins have been by KO, so that suggests how massive of a puncher he is. And he's had 4 losses, which 3 of his 4 losses have been by KO as well. And he's got that 1 draw, which was way back to Tyson Fury the first time. And it seems to be around that time of that first Tyson Fury fight is where everything fell apart for Deontay Wilder, because he stepped up levels. But with Deontay, again, in his last 5 fights, he's only got 1 win, and that was in between after the first 2 Tyson losses, and then obviously he then beat Robert Helenius in 1 round. I think he's under 3 minutes or whatever it was, before losing to Josie Parker and Zhilei Zhang. So yeah, he's sustained recently some big defeats. Um, and he's looked a little bit gun shy, and he looks like he's lost confidence. But apparently, with what I've been watching and hearing, um, he's back to himself. He's confident. He's motivated. He wants to go out there and to put on a performance. So let's wait and see. And this fight's not going to tell me a lot. It's not going to tell me that Deontay is back. But what it's going to show me is that he's not gun shy, and that he still has that power. He still has that knockout ability. And if he does get a knockout, which I think he needs the knockout to increase his confidence, then that might be the start of things. Because when you look through Deontay Wilder's record, um, up until I think it was, yeah, maybe you could probably say Chris Ariola, give or take, or Spilka, everyone else on his record weren't credible names, I should say. Yes, they're names in terms of the boxing scene, but they weren't like high level opponents, if you know what I'm trying to say. Um, yeah, the Chris Aviola, I'd probably say, and then onwards from there, were decent opponents apart from Dominic Brazil, but Dominic Brazil was still a decent-ish gatekeeper, give or take. So yeah, his opponents, for someone who's had nearly 50 fights, haven't been great up until that point, but it's given him a lot of confidence, and he's got a lot of knockouts. And realistically, you can only beat or knock out people that are in front of you at that pretty much that moment in time. But what or where I should say, where could Deontay go? You know what I mean? He's nearly at 50 bouts. Could this gimmick fight go down as obviously a get me into it? Hopefully he wins and then has another gimmick fight just to get to that 50 record and then maybe call it a day. Who knows? But I think what this fight will tell us what he kind of has left really. Because if he loses to someone like Herndon, then he should definitely hang up the gloves. But anyway, you guys let me know your thoughts. And as always, please subscribe and comment. Bless.